Great content, fuck all content. Today we have a good mix of both.
Pin like a dumb comment and I put it up on my story. I know it doesn't look good. I'm a mental health coach and I shouldn't be doing it. But sometimes they're really, really dumb.
I think for them it's the same thing, right? Like Gulf is one big country. I don't think I could fit into the most glamorous circles because I'm a guy who's got like black t-shirts and sweatpants and
the content that I've been putting out there, like, literally my videos will be like, divorce is the best thing that has happened to you.
Solution to this needs to be instituting football principles into marriage.
Like
where
what?
You're like 5-year contract, subject to renewal, subject to extension, based on behavior. We'll renegotiate terms.
There are so many married men out there and they think like they're unmarried. Celebrate your first year anniversary a little bit and then your 5 years. Celebrate, start with that. If you made it to 5 years now, then call me. Otherwise, I'm not spending 40,000 rupees on a fucking sharara and then have to wear it again for your second wedding. No way. Don't follow me in real life, but you can follow him.
So I like some unsolicited attention, baby. Let's go.
Hello everyone, welcome to Decoding Quirks. I'm your host Aditi and today is a little bit of a different segment. One of my favorite people, he's Dubai's biggest turkey. Let's just keep it to that and then you'll understand why. Also, welcome Nikhil Turkey.
Thank you so much for having me, Aditi. Appreciate it.
Okay, so let's be clear with everyone. I met Nikhil because we were at a brunch.
Yeah, I was shooting that brunch.
You were shooting that brunch. And now he has Knockout Media. What is Knockout Media?
It's a content creation company. Thank you for the plug. Appreciate it.
Always with friends. Okay, so content creation, right? And this is why we constantly keep talking because we are like, okay, my content, your content, great content, fuck all content. So that's how we started talking. And I was like, bro, we have to get him on the podcast. We have to talk a little like mental health stuff where we understand content, but we also want to like decode a little bit more like relationship problems, Dubai problems, dating in Dubai problems. So we were like, what's the best place to do this? Let's get him on the podcast. So we have not spoken about this before. We are now IG friends, right? I think.
And now real friends. You know, we had a few conversations. Those also doubled up as quasi-therapy sessions. And now...
Oh, yeah. I was giving him like free therapy at some point. So we met at a brunch. We became IG friends. We became like calling therapy friends. And now we're on the podcast. So this
Great content, fuck all content.
Hey, no, please follow.
And
Great
now
content.
today we have a good mix of both.
Okay. So what I really wanted to find out now is that I get a lot of DMs. And I think this is something that we've also vibed on before because sometimes what I do is I just like pin like a dumb DM. Not DM, sorry. Comments. I pin like a dumb comment and I put it up on my story. And I know it doesn't look good probably because, I'm a mental health coach and I shouldn't be doing it. But sometimes they're really, really dumb. So I recently put up this one reel about people... feeling safe, women feeling safe in Dubai. And obviously this came out after the Kolkata rape case. And it was like, people, I do feel safe here. And everyone, every mom, every sister, every friend, they all feel really safe here versus back home in India. And I put up a reel about feeling safe in Dubai. And the comments have been insane. So one of the comments basically was like, stop lying to us because women can't drive in Dubai. What do you say to that?
He's not completely wrong. Like, are women allowed to drive in Dubai? Yes. Can they? Also, yes, actually, you know what? I think the worst drivers are Dubai dudes,
Okay, you know why? Okay, wait. So see, okay, there is women don't drive well and all of that rubbish. But I find this really funny because when you go to buy second-hand cars now, they'll always say...
Me included. I'm selling my car. My mom drove that car for 2 years and I'm like, women driven. Give me that extra value.
Exactly. So then why they say women can't drive and all? But then when you want to sell it, you're like, oh, women...
Oh, this is so women driven. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's also because mainly women have a sense of class, touch and maintenance. They take care of things better than guys do. And eventually you want to try and leverage that to the max that you can, especially when it comes down to making money. But to a large extent, I feel like people have the notions of Dubai and UAE so contrived, right? It doesn't make sense because I think they confuse UAE with Saudi. I don't want to go there, but you don't need to wear hijabs in UAE. You can drive in UAE, and
Yeah.
there's a lot more freedom. I mean, have you been to Cavo? Have you been to JBR? Have you seen the baddies over there?
Yeah, it is. It's true. Like, you can wear a bikini on the beach here. Like, I think there are at least like 15, 20 comments asking me about, like, can you wear a bikini on the beach? Don't lie, you can't drive in Dubai. There is no freedom, there is no safety. And that's exactly what you're saying. People are confusing it for Saudi. But why do people confuse Dubai for Saudi?
I think for them it's the same thing, right? Like,
Yeah, Gulf
it
is.
Gulf is one big country.
But like, I feel like Dubai has done so much to like stand out. How come that is still not being seen, and like the conservative side is still being picked on, especially here on IG?
I mean, I think that's also because you have a vast Indian population, right? And not a lot of them are very well educated, as much as we'd like for them to
Hmm.
believe that.
Hmm.
I also don't think there's enough media coming out from the UAE and Dubai to show that difference. Like, for example, when we grew up watching Friends, How I Met Your Mother, and
So I guess that decides it. Yep.
Hanging out at a coffee place, not nearly as much fun as hanging out at a bar.
we would pick up the nuances of that country quite easily, right? We'd understand their slang, we'd understand their culture a lot easier. I don't think the UAE has been so advanced in their media. I'm talking about whether it's television and whatnot to show that difference. Because at max, you've got Dubai Bling, and like, who the
That's
fuck's even
now.
watch that? Like, who? I mean, some people have, but it's obnoxious wealth, right? And it's not very relatable because it's all people that everyone aspires to be like, or everyone just looks at them and goes like, oh wow, you've got the dream life that we could never have. How often do you see relatable content where people go like, okay, there is culture over here? And I'd like to think, like, outside of the chamak culture, there's more to Dubai than dokha and like karak chai,
Yes.
and we don't really show that as much.
Yeah,
Stay
that's so
tuned,
true.
2025 Knockout Media trying to change that. Okay, I'm not trying to do that.
That's okay. I think
Like,
that's great. I think just like plug in
no,
whatever.
no, no, but like,
No, but you're
that
right.
needs to
You're
be
right.
changed.
I mean, you're when you say that, yes, in 20 sorry, in on TV we used to see Friends and all these shows, and they lived a very regular life,
Yeah.
and that regular life was also something that you want to aspire to reach,
Yeah.
right? Like a Dubai Bling is an exceptional life, so it's already like, I mean, for some people who want to,
Yeah,
it's like,
of course,
how,
I agree with you.
yeah, how do you like get to that spot? And then it's like, is Dubai only that? Is it only bling? Because there's such a true side to Dubai.
Yeah, but I also feel like it kind of is, right? Because I mean, what's normal in Dubai, right? Nobody glorifies normal. And second, I do think that there are some degrees of unfair advantages. This could even be sex related, right? Like, what I mean is Andrew Tate entirely wrong when he says that when
Andrew
you
Tate
go,
is always long.
no, no,
wrong.
when you say that you're on a yacht and you see a couple of chicks there versus the guys over there in a yacht. Like, I'm not talking about invited yacht. I'm talking about like actually being there, right? Nobody has gone out of their way and gone like, "Hey, baby, Nikhil, come down to a yacht. I'm going to treat you right." Like,
Yeah.
I've got to accomplish a fuck ton to do that so that I can get like some sort of gay sugar daddy to go like, "Nikhil, come through,"
Yeah.
and that's. I don't want to risk that because there's certain seals I enjoy staying sealed. But like, you know,
No, no, I get it. I get it.
I do think that there are people who've got a lot who will share it. And now again, I'm not trying to say that Andrew Tate's right or wrong. I'm just saying that that was a particular example where I think there are some people that are exposed to that glamorous side and can sort of fit in a lot easier than I can. Like, I don't think I could fit into the most glamorous circles because I'm a guy who's got like black t-shirts and sweatpants, and I have one pair of Jordans. I'm not fancy. I don't have designer clothes or watches or any of that, and I don't get gifted that. I don't
Yeah.
you know I've got to earn every single stripe, and I think there are a lot of people, you included, who would do that. You would earn your stripes. You're
Every
not like
single thing,
waiting
yeah.
to get that given to you. But I think, yes,
Yeah.
the current misconception is you could, again, somebody made a video about this. People from the UK coming into Dubai, a dude would spend like, 10,000 pounds, and a chick would come here with a suitcase and like bikinis and push up bras, and like, you don't have to spend a cent.
Yeah. No,
They're not wrong.
they're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, but why do you think like it's so easier for women though?
The- Okay, also, maybe if we go back a bit, I think historically we're probably always just geared to provide for them. So we think that, if we show that we can provide, that means we get some sort of ownership over them, or that we deserve their attention, or we deserve to be the center of their world. But it's so ironic, right? Like, I think guys would put all that effort and they'll show off, they'll buy the fanciest things to get the woman, but they would never really develop themselves enough emotionally, or like, in what's the right word for it, but they wouldn't really develop themselves to keep the woman, or even
It's called breadcrumbing. No, sorry, love bombing. Where I actually had spoken about this also in one of my reels, where they'll be like, I'll do so much for you and
Yeah.
make you fall in love with me.
uske baad kya?
Yeah, after that, what are we going to do? Because now I don't have the skills to sustain
Yeah.
you in this relationship, right? So now I'm going to go back to what my original state was, and now you're going to feel a disconnect. Then a woman feels a disconnect, and then they'll be
100%.
like, bro, what went wrong? So it's very easy to woo, I think. And it comes from that place where you said that I get that, like a man will get the validation, and it's like, okay, the provider instincts come out. But how do you sustain that? So it's like, are you also, provide like investing in skills within yourself to be a better person? And I don't think this concept existed a while back, right? I think it's pretty new.
At least it's been brought to the forefront now, thanks to like social media and videos and whatnot. But yeah, I don't think there's like a, I think women get attention, period. They just get more attention due to the virtue of who they are, because they're more desirable, right? Like, every dude wants women either to as a partner or as a prized possession. They're one or the other, and you can't ever change that. I think that's how
You're
guys
wired.
have always been. And also, when you look at, let's take pornography or sex or prostitution, for example, the biggest consumers of that tend to be men, right? Like, there's always been a price attached to women, even from that perspective. It's like, if I have money, I can buy a woman's time, I can buy a woman's love, I can buy a woman's attention. From prostitution to OnlyFans, that exists, right? So I think the default setting is always that, oh, you know what, women can get access to places a lot quicker or faster than men normally can,
Yeah.
just due to who they are. Like, whether you're attractive, non-attractive, if you're bold, if you're smart, like, I just think there are hacks. But that being said, men don't have to deal with periods and pregnancy scares. So like, it's okay. I'll take that trade-off. I'm fine with that. I don't get ledged at a whole lot. I don't feel that sense of insecurity or safety. Like, if somebody gropes me in a bus, I'm like, oh, thank you. So
No, it's really bad, man. It's really bad. Like, we go through it from the time when we're really, really young. Like, sexual assaults and, people in the buses and all. It's a little ridiculous, but you're so right when you say this, that it comes from, there is a price to everything, and women end up falling into that price tag, right?
and they end up being the prize themselves, because it's always seen as that, right? Like, guys would fight wars for women. Swayamvars existed because of that concept, right? Like, 20 dudes almost facing off for like the
Yeah.
attention of one woman. Like, what do you do there? And I don't think you can do much. I just think you've got to play to your strengths where they are, right?
But
Like,
how
don't
do
crib
you,
about it.
how do we change this up? Like, how do we bring something healthy into this thing? At what point does it feel healthy, and at what point does it feel unhealthy? Like, what makes it unhealthy? When people take advantage?
I think when people take advantage and when people think that the sole route to a woman's heart is the glamour. So I'll give you an example, right? When I first, there's this video that I put up. When I came back to Dubai in 2024, I was broke. I came back from Canada, I had nothing to my name, and I started a business, which is the dumbest thing to do, because you have no financial safety, security, or any of that, right? And at that point, when someone asked me what dating plans were, I told them that there were 3 stages until I get enough money to take care of my mom. And like, I've got to be able to spend on my mom first, then I've got to be able to spend out on my friends, and then I will quote a girl's attention. Because to me, I didn't want to go out on a 1 dirham chai date with a girl. And then I watched a lot of Twinkle Stanley videos. I was like, fuck, I can't do walking videos either. Walking dates. Like, shit, no more coffee and walks. What do I do? Right? And that
Yeah.
became a problem. And I was like, okay, man, if I have to start dishing out a couple $100 every date and start paying for things in myself, right? Like, I've got to have some degree of fuck you money. And like, I hadn't developed that fuck you money. And then I had my own insecurity, where I was like, if I'm not able to like comfortably buy this girl food, send her home in an Uber, buy her this, show her this kind of life, then I can't go out and date. That pressure started coming in. That's the flip side of this, right? Because you've got all these millionaires or daddy money, new money people who would be like, okay, baby, let me send. And sorry, the precedent is set where these guys would, obviously, they might treat them like shit afterwards, or emotionally and verbally abuse them in other ways.
Yeah.
But in terms of first time princess treatment, man. They set the bar so high. Oh baby, I'll call you for a yacht party, I'll order
Yeah.
you Ubers back and forth for this, I'll take you
Yeah.
to Cavo and the finest places or the Zumas.
Yeah.
And you're just like, Arya's masala dosa by 2.
So, okay, wait, but in this entire thing is that what I also realize, and like quoting Twinkle Stanley, is like we can also pay for ourselves as well. It's not like we can't. What we also do like is that, are you ambitious? I mean, at least for us, we say like, are you ambitious enough to take me to a good place? Because I'm also seeing your receipts, and I'm also understanding your ambition by that. Like, do you go to these kind of places? But if you are a guy who goes to like for like 1 dirham karak, so it's no point like you taking me to like Top Golf and all, and then later on after like 5 days you're taking me to like,
See, exactly. If it's not sustainable, right? Like, I'd
Yeah.
rather start off with one dirham karak and then end with beer at Top Golf, right? Like, there's.
no, I get it, but I think like it comes from that intention. But I feel like, so our intention is, can he do it? Can the man like be ambitious? Does he have like a good taste? Does he have a good choice? Does he have good manners? Because these things are not important during that first date, and it's never important during that first date. It's more important like 10, 15 dates later or a year later, when it's time to show those manners. It's time to show that ambition. But we start judging it or analyzing it during those first few dates. So it's really not that important, because we can pay for ourselves, we can sustain. Now, what is being seen on the other side is what you said, like, people have set the bar so high, and some people have fucked it up also. They have set it so high, and then, as you said, right, these are the people who will end up like abusing you or controlling you. And narcissism starts the same way, right? You want to completely woo a girl, make them fall in love with you, and then have that control over her, so that now she can't go anywhere else. She can't do anything else. And now she's dependent. And now everything is about the man because she's so dependent. So it's been taken in such wrong ways, but I don't think the intention kind of came from that wrong place. I think it came for like, we're trying to protect our future.
Yeah.
And then we're called gold diggers. Because we're literally trying to protect our future. And that's also one of the most messed up things about like dating in Dubai. It's very hard to tell who's coming from the intention of what I am saying.
And who's coming for like a free meal, right? Like, who's just coming out for a free good time. Right?
Exactly. And dating in Dubai is very, very tough that way.
I am going to go right back to coffee dates. So there was a time when I was in Canada, I didn't date around because, again, I was like, I've had like 4 stages of broke and unbroke over the last 3 years, right?
Okay.
So when I was in Canada, there was a phase where I didn't date because I'm like, if I'm not paying for a nice first date, I don't want to do it to begin with, right? But my friends, on the other hand, would go out for a coffee date and split the damn coffee, and Tim Hortons is like $5, right? So, and this dude would come back going like, yeah, bro, I totally got laid last night, got some action and came back. I'm like, bro's getting like, the best dollar value on action, and I'm out here like dropping $100 just for a good night kiss, bro. This ROI doesn't seem like it's hitting.
But then it doesn't last, no, then?
No, it didn't. It definitely
is, yeah.
no, for them or for me, it didn't last because I've been on that end where, I've really not seen that relationship go anywhere further. And I was just like, oh, okay, now
What do you
I'll show
think
this
the
girl who can take care.
reason is that relationships don't last?
On my
Especially
case? Oh,
as a young boy in Dubai.
Toxic behavior,
So
tried
you-
and tested. I am very self-aware of the red flags, the
What's
toxic
your
behavior, all of that.
toxicity?
Man, so for starters, I think every guy, including me, just loves the chase in terms of having when you're able to like woo a girl and she's just like, yeah, what a man's. And then once the chase is completed, once that's done, you're just like, chalo yaar, on to the next.
So it's the chase is an addiction, right?
It's so
But what do you
bad.
think it is? Why do you think the chase is an addiction?
Okay, somewhere because maybe in my case, I grew up looking kind of ugly as a kid. So a lot of people and I got rebuffed a lot as a kid. And I think I won't call it childhood trauma because I brought it on myself. And
Yeah.
I got bullied about it. And I was just like, oh, come here, motherfuckers. I'm going to show you who's who. Like, I will get bitches. I will fuck. I will,
Yeah, so it's to
I'll hoe
prove,
around.
yeah.
And like, it's just to prove this point. And then after a while, it got to that thing where I was confident enough of the fact that, okay, man, I know I have charm, looks,
Yeah.
the ability to talk. And I'm a turkey with manners.
Yeah.
And I don't really need to go down that path, but at the same time it's a little difficult because again, for where I am right now, it's that phase where I haven't dated in my life except for like 2 weeks in 10th grade, and now I'm like, okay, I want to find a long-term partner.
But you're not going to
It's
find a
hard.
long-term partner if you don't sustain a relationship, like if you don't give it a chance. That's the for sure.
100%,
Yeah.
which is where I'm
But
coming
then,
out of that
so
mentality.
but it is a subconscious thing also, no? At the end of the day, is like maybe you don't want to.
I sometimes think that. I genuinely think that. But then finally, I'm at that point where I've seen myself grow over the last year-ish or so, where I'm very happy with just one woman's attention, where I've been in that spot where I'm like, okay, I have you. I don't need anybody else. I'm very happy. I don't, for me, the chase is more like, what can I do as we progress along the relationship?
Yeah.
Because what I've started to identify is sort of gamify that relationship a little bit, knowing that this is what she wanted when we first started dating. This is what she kind of wants 3-4 months into the relationship. Can I develop that? Can I improve on those fronts while not entirely changing myself as a human being?
That's very important.
So, like, I've started to identify those things. I've started to see what I could do, where do I have to potentially maybe compromise, sacrifice, but for the greater good, so that you can,
So that is growth only,
Leave
na,
this
what
people.
you're kind of describing, no?
yeah, a little bit, but it's still a
Towards
little
yeah, it's
theoretical
still,
because
yeah, it's
nobody has
still,
stayed around for that long. Also, the people that have stayed around, like, we've had a little bit of,
yeah.
a fallout.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
So the way I see it is that generally in a relationship, after you figure out this chase aspect of it, when it starts to become safe, it starts to become boring, a relationship. And if it's not reached that place, then it's a completely different. If it's not safe, then problems will start, and then you'll just be like, I'm out. Like on the first problem, it'll be like, I'm out. So you
That's
have-
exactly what happened in
yeah.
my first relationship. 10th grade, first fight happened. I'm like, listen, I don't think this is going anywhere.
Yeah, so that's one way of doing it. But once you start feeling safe in a relationship, it starts to get boring. And once it gets boring, then people like that initial chase because it somewhere made you feel like worth it. A lot of times we feel like we're not worthy of safety, and that comes down to like a childhood wound also. It's like, why I don't deserve this kind of safeness, and then you want to create more drama. You know, the pot stirrers.
Yeah.
The pot
Just to
stir-
go like, let's see how he copes with this now.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I didn't really need to fight with you about that dinner or that bill, but you'll bring up something because the person is ready to take your nakhra, and you're ready to take your rubbish and your bullshit, and then you test it more and you test it more and you stir the pot more and you stir the pot more, and then you have a fight and then be like, I can't do this, I'm out. So safety also, when people don't know how to accept safety, they become like pot stirrers.
Do you feel like it's such an edge for you to be in a relationship given the fact that you've got this background in psychology?
Me?
Yeah, because like, you understand yourself, you understand him, and you understand the situation. And if he's too dumb to understand it, you can explain it to him in a way that he can receive it, and you can be conscious about
God.
all of that, right? Like,
I love that question.
Isn't that difficult too? Because on his end, he would be like, shit,
Yeah.
I can't ever figure this out. She's the one always figuring it out, and how does he outfigure you out?
Actually, that's very, very interesting. I love it. I love that question because for me, while I'm in the incident, I am on Aditi's side at that point. And it takes me a minute to like, give a 3D view of like, okay, what the hell is happening around me. So my first protection is my own protection. And I think that's something I've genuinely loved right now in the last 2 years. I feel like I've been working on that personally to stop always caring for the other person because that's empathy, which comes with, emotional intelligence. So I'm like, instead of constantly having empathy, because having empathy is a great thing, but you can't constantly be having it, right? Then you neglect yourself. So I'm like first choosing myself now. And then like I do a 3D view of like, okay, fuck, what the hell is happening here? Can I understand where he's coming from? And then we do take that time and we're like, okay, fine. But where it backfires, because it's not always so rosy, my life is not all like picture perfect. Especially like a mental health coach, everyone will be like, you don't have any problems. I have the most amount of problems. It's just the way I deal with the problems start to become better. That's what happens with therapy. So the bad effects, the negative effects is sometimes I'm just so mindful. And sometimes it takes the fun away from stuff because you want to like fuck around, you want to say shit, you want to do shit. And I think like sometimes that has happened. So this year, 2025, and you'll see it with my content as well, 2025 is going to be the year I'm properly experimenting. Like, it doesn't only have to be an interview, it can be a conversation can also be like, I've never spoken to you before, this is our first conversation ever, like you and me, this is our first long conversation ever, and we're going to be on the podcast. Like, I'm going to experiment with stuff in my life. You want to cut it? We're going to experiment with stuff in my life as well because I want to learn how to have fun because I don't want to be extra mindful. So it can kind of backfire because you're thinking of everything and you want to do the right thing for everything. And I'm like trying to pick now. So I don't want to do the right thing for everything.
And so you're basically telling me you want to start stirring the pot a little bit, start causing a little bit of trouble on your
You know
end,
what?
just to bring
Yeah.
the scales back to balance, right?
You know what? You always go from one side to the other side. So maybe I am going to like stir the pot a little bit. And I think I have already with the content that I've been putting out there, like, with like absent fathers and like, divorcing. Like, literally my videos will be like, divorce is the best thing that has happened to you. And the comments
You
that
know, that's such a nice video. I love that video.
I know, and then the comments on that reel will be like, yeah, but then what about alimony and what about maintenance law? And then
The solution to this needs to be instituting football principles into marriage.
Like
where you're
what?
like 5-year contract, subject to renewal, subject to extension, based on behavior. We'll renegotiate terms. And
I
then
love
we
it.
go here.
I love it. What I also feel like people really should not celebrate marriages. And this is an example I've actually really given my friend, but she just told me to fuck off. But people shouldn't celebrate a marriage. Go quietly get married and celebrate your year anniversary a little bit and then your 5 years. Start with that. Celebrate your
Yes.
5th year anniversary.
Have
If
your
you made
wedding
it,
then.
yeah. If you made it to 5 years now, then call me. Otherwise, I'm not spending 40,000 rupees on a fucking sharara and then I have to wear it again for your second wedding. No way. I'm not doing it.
The craziest thing is that I am seeing a lot of people getting separated and divorced,
Yeah.
having gone out with a couple of them too, and I'm just like, God damn, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make the relationship thing work, because like I went out with someone who was divorced and I'm just like, bro, there could be a lot of baggage over here, because you're dealing with baggage on my end, which is about like a couple of years of not dating anyone and not having that sensibility, versus someone who's just had their shit with men, and now they're on the other side. They're like, you know what? And for what it's worth, completely valid where they're coming from. But then their perspective is, if this guy's not sending me Ubers to meet him, give me full princess treatment and take care of all this, I want nothing to do with the guy. I'm not even interested. That's when I'm just like,
Yeah. No, I get it. So I also feel like whenever I talk about divorce and whenever like we meet people who, are divorced, especially in my practice, we make sure that they are healing. They learn and figure out what their wounds are, because in a marriage that's not successful, you are going to get wounds. You are going to get new wounds, and you are going to get traumatized all over again, not only with your childhood, but like a different form. So if that is not healed and you go into a next relationship, you are actually spreading negativity. So you become like whatever they call now patient zero. So you're now going to spread it more. That guy's going to take it to another person. So why do you want to do that, right? Why do you? Because it's spreading into the world. So you have to heal. And then, of course, as you said, no, the expectations come on, because we are taught this thing. We are not taught like you need to see if he can send you an Uber because he can provide for you in the future when you need it, when there is that, as I said, right, the intention behind why women, you want to see if you're ambitious or you want to have like some form of taste, some form of the way you talk, all of that is not for now. It's for the future when you actually need to show it. But if you don't have it now, we're not taught those right reasons. And I think this is also some form of education that we're not trying to do. So we're not only educating men, which we really need to, because that's the only way that the society will change going forward, but we're also trying to educate women to not just do it for the bling and not for the show. We're actually like, fucking check your intentions. I'm telling you, like my motto in life is just intentions. You can do anything and it looks the same, but the only difference is intentions. You can self-love and selfish, it'll look the same. The only thin line between that is intention. Are you doing it from a place of protecting myself, or am I doing it from a place of pulling you down? Intention is the only thing.
I wanted to ask you this, from all your experience right now, and you're seeing all these people getting married at 23, 24, 25. Have you experienced an increase in the number of divorces from all these marriages happening in their 20s?
Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of divorces when people get married too young. I have seen a few good ones, but many divorces happening when they marry too young because they don't know themselves. The world keeps changing. The expectation of marriage has only changed.
To what?
Because when you're getting married at 20, 23, you're expected to be taken care of. You are expected to, like, that rosy picture, no, the Kejo vibes. in movies, you're expecting that kind of rom-com love. This doesn't last. This doesn't exist. There is no rom-com love. There was a lack of rom-com in our life, so the movie industry put it over there to fuck with our head. Now we are expecting that from every man and every woman. It doesn't exist. It's something that happens like 4 times in a year. Please just accept it. So this is what people think while going in, I'll be taken care of, I'll get the rom-com love and all of that. But then like you have like shit gets real. You have money issues, you have to pay taxes, you have to like, bring up children, you have to pay school fees. You're not always going to be in a good mood. You're going to get your periods, you're going to like, your boss is going to fire you, you're going to bring that home. Can you all live together? And then when you realize that, fuck, my values only don't align, how can I live with this man? They don't talk about this thing because you don't even know yourself. Your brain actually develops at between the age of 24 to 25 for a girl and 25 to 26 for a man. That's when you're actually fully developed. And if you're going to get married so young, I think earlier the concept was get married young so you all develop together.
You grow together, yeah.
Yeah, you grow together. Where that has worked back in the day when there were restrictions. In today's DNA, there aren't restrictions. There are more opportunities. So why would somebody...
Got it. Because like you can always just, fuck your coworker or something and, have it blossom. Now we have concepts like polyamory. You're like, the girl is in an open relationship. Guy is not. Guys like, what's this?
Yeah. And dude, you can just download Tinder wherever you go,
Yeah.
have a great time and come back. And probably that was not possible for a shy introvert guy who was going to like Dubai on a 2-day work trip. It's not possible.
Or you
that
can
time.
download something like Field and talk about all your kinks and what all you like, and then match with people with similar kinks and just smash and leave.
Yeah, then people have the opportunity now. That time there was restriction. So it came from a different intention again, right? So now the world is changing, the world is evolving. Why are we putting the same old restrictions onto the new world, right? So we are developing and everyone now needs to be financially independent. A house doesn't work on a single income unless you're like a VP or a CEO.
Yep.
Everybody needs a dual income and everybody knows that they need a dual income. Why are we not giving like that much respect? Or, you can have your own intentions, you can have your own values, you can have your own life. The girl doesn't have to compromise now for the guy's life, right? So 2 incomes, 2 separate personalities, it has to match only if the values, in fact, they really match, like there is love. So there's a recent thing where they said that there are more divorces in love marriages than they are in arranged.
I was literally just going to ask you this question next. Have you how have you seen that trend evolve within India? And do you think it's because of the parental pressure that there are more people involved in an arranged marriage than there are in a love marriage?
I don't think there'll be more. I feel like there reaches a point. I think now in this year, it's more about like people not able to, find, because see, again, with a lot of opportunities, the quality of men are really getting messed up, and the quality of women, as you said, now you met so many divorcees. It's a little scary at some point, right? So people are using that as like, I'm a little scared, so they go into arranged marriages. Now, when you go into arranged marriages, you go in for the concept of it's an arranged marriage. So you're going in with a sense of commitment. Like, I will provide for you, I will take care of your children. It's just you're committing to each other. It's like a promise, till death do us apart. But in love, you're saying that I love you forever. And when the love starts to fade, they get divorced faster. So there's a different, again, intention.
And this is because like expectations aren't met, and
Yeah, so with
people
love
aren't able to cope with how people evolve over time.
Yeah, so
right?
exactly. So with love marriage, you get into the marriage because of love, and then when you fall out of that love, you get divorced. And that's okay because you're doing it with your own consent. With an arranged marriage, it feels like there are 2 families got involved,
Yeah.
and they have promised each other. So if love came to, even bonus, if love is not there, I still have committed to provide for you. I have still committed to take care of your children. So that commitment is still going on. Is it really a marriage? Who knows?
I have a very radical take on partnership, which is very
Yeah.
similar to the football thing, which is you've got to see what partner is right for you at what phase of your life. I feel like someone's right for you between 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40. They're very different people. And I think that sort of excitement you need in life, dude. If reincarnation doesn't happen, you're kind of cooked. Just, chalega. Multiple partners at different times. Same time gets a bit too confusing. I don't buy into this whole, like,
Yeah.
polyamory thing is just like ADHD relationships. That's about it. But I think,
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
but I think, you know, if you're doing one at a time, I don't think it's the worst idea to move on,
Yeah.
because I think people just do evolve after a
Yeah,
while.
100%. I think you're constantly changing, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly growing, and there's so much education out there. There are so many things to experience. And if you have changed and had some growth, why can't you show that in your relationship? And if you do show that in your relationship and the partner doesn't accept it, you can move on. And as I said, we are coming from a place of dual income. We are coming from a place of financial stability. So it's okay. Like, it's okay to have someone for like 15 years. I really don't think it's a wrong thing. I think what we need to celebrate is the fact that we had someone for 15 years.
Yeah.
We don't have to feel sad about the fact that, oh my God, I had someone for 15 years and I've let them go. No. Celebrate the
Yeah.
good. Na? It's same, na? Like giving that gratitude thing. We are grateful for what has happened and we're also okay to let them go. Letting them go doesn't come from a place of being negative all the time. Like, it's fine, let them go.
What makes a Dubai man's trash?
Oh my God. Why are Dubai men trash?
Yeah.
Oh God. I feel like, okay, the biggest example of why Dubai men suck in this whole dating experience is because all of them, or actually most of them, are married and they do long distance marriages and like their families are back home. People are even married like from within, like they can be staying in like Sharjah and they'll come to Dubai to like meet a girl and they think like they're unmarried. There are so many married men out there trying to have a good time. Again, coming back to what we said about the opportunity aspect, there are women are putting themselves out there to find the right kind of men, and then the wrong kind of men are taking advantage of it day by day, and it's getting so much more trashy, and our bandwidths are getting lesser and lesser. Before, in 10 years ago, I would have given a guy 10 days on the chat to like, show and prove himself. Now I would just give him one. Not even, maybe half. Like, our bandwidth is like reducing.
Half in what sense?
Like half a day to prove yourself. Like, is he a cool guy? I'll check your lingo. I'll check the way you talk.
Okay,
and
so
all of that.
grammar and all that. Because
Yeah.
I've got a very direct approach. I just go like, listen, if you're free tomorrow, let's go meet. I don't
I
have the
think that
time to
makes
like
sense.
quote you overly on social media. Then that just stays on social media.
Yeah, I think that makes sense now. But that's what I'm saying, that because there are so many married men out there doing it for the wrong reasons. There are so many rebound and all these. So when I say married men, I was like, okay, you have a different commitment. So that's the same thing with a rebound. Also, your commitment is not that I want to find someone for me. Commitment is distraction. So people want to come to Dubai only for 1-2 years and go back home. So they don't want to be committed again. So there are so many like different things where they're not 100% in it. We women have lost our bandwidth. Our trust levels have like really reduced. And that's what comes out to the good guys now. Now the good guys suffer because of this as well.
I think there's very fair and few of them over there, because from what I've seen, at least on dating apps, I think Dubai guys to a large extent lack game. Now, I'm not saying I've got the best game by any measure, but what I mean by that is
But the game is getting hard.
it's I feel like this entitled expectations. What I mean by that is there are guys who'll be chatting up a girl without really following any sort of due process, where you've even maybe spoken over a video call, you've spent a night together. Now, I wouldn't directly go and run my hands down a girl's thighs before holding her hands for a while and like getting consent. Like, consent without a fact, I mean, for sure, but like, you've got to gauge some degree of physical interest and intimacy before even
Yes.
asking certain questions and saying, hey, babe, you want to fuck?
Yeah.
But these guys would just come out with that expectation that she matched with me,
is
she
going
wants to suck my dick.
Yeah. There's
And I
no
feel like that's the
consent,
problem.
Tony.
There's
These Dubai guys really have they don't understand what consent is. They were like, you matched with me, na, you accepted me. Arey, bro, I just looked at you. It's like a supermarket. By mistake, I've looked at you. If you show that the product is good, I'll think about taking you home. Just relax. So that is so true. You know what? Actually, consent is a huge topic that I do want to talk about in detail. But we are running a little bit out of time. We are going to do this again because I think consent is a great thing to talk about, especially with the Dubai dating scene. And I want to go through more of the comments because we got some really lovely questions out of this. So sorry that we're running out of time, but thank you for showing up.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
this.
this, more for sure. So where can they follow you?
Dude, Instagram.
And not in real life. And in real life.
TikTok, YouTube at Turkey, and OnlyFans at Turkey too.
Okay, like, follow, share, subscribe, and don't follow me in real life, but you can follow him. Okay.
I won't say no. I like some unsolicited attention, baby. Let's go.